Yes, yes, once again. Once again. Finally. I'm back, dog. Yeah. Coming to you live and direct. This is Ground Zero of the Kangaroo Apocalypse. I am your host, your facilitator, your inspirational, divine Buddha Mark, the mighty Sun Cipher. You are in tune with Black Dot Chronicles, and we are back. Yeah, I said it. We back, y'all. They fucked around and gave us the keys back. You know what we finna do with it? Burn the whole motherfucking place down, son. Cause that's how we do. And you know it's all good. Shout out to all my peoples, all my family across the globe, anywhere, everywhere you at. You know I'm seeing you. So it's a new year, a new day, same old bullshit, yeah. YouTube had a nigga on lock like Akon. Apparently they let me out on bail. Bad behavior. So we're gonna pick up where we left off. I'm just actually surprised that I'm allowed to stream again on YouTube. I thought I'd see what was up. So, you know, nothing's changed. And I just got some random topics I want to shoot through today just to kick the dirt off. It's a little dusty up in here, you know what I'm saying? I had to dust up all the gear. Bring some pledge in here. But yeah, it's good to be back on the scene doing what I know I need to do, not necessarily what I want to do. So shout out to all the peoples who represent truth, who represent oneness, who represent unity, yeah. All for one, one for all. So as we get into this, as always, everybody come in, take a seat, kick back, relax, find a spot. Make sure you got plenty of ventilation. Blow the smoke out the window. Because we don't want to hotbox it up in here today. Where do I start? Let's get into some money, yeah. We'll get into some fundage. Talk about these charts. Oh, I like that ad right there. What's that say? Post-sex sacrifice phase now live. Don't miss out. If you don't know, now you know. From the creator who brought you Hex. Bitcoin Hex as it was originally called. But fortunately, RH dropped the Bitcoin like a bad habit, left us with the Hex, and now we all feeling lovely, yeah. So in case you didn't know, as I said, from the founder of Hex, from the creator of Postchain, comes the trilogy in PostX, the premier decentralized exchange in the whole of crypto from day one. Yet to be known, but coming soon. So right now, if you don't know, you want to get into something before it starts, one of the best dexes to ever grace the blockchain within the first 24 hours of going live. That will be post X. The race is still good if you want to sacrifice, so I suggest go to postx.com, go to post.com, postchain.com, and you can get it done. Get that stake in, get that sacrifice in, be one of the first to own a major part of this new ecosystem called Postchain. Alright, so we're just gonna look at the charts. You know, things are trying to rebound a little bit. It's been a rough week or two for most of the crypto markets. So, you know, we just scroll down through here, see what's what. Bitcoin's looking good. In fact, Bitcoin's up quite a bit on the week. This is just a 24-hour, and we're up 2% at 37.6. It was like 34 this time last week. So I'm sure all you Bitcoiners are feeling happy right about now. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum's trying to have a comeback. It's usually tied with Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin does, you will see Ethereum kind of mimic that as far as the price movement, give or take. But it's up 4.7, up to 25. It was looking quite grim for a minute as well. Go down here to Binance. We don't even talk about Tether, but you go down here to Binance. This BNB coin is looking like it's breathing some signs of life, but it's down quite a bit from his all-time high. It's down quite a bit from even a month ago when it was around 585, 550. So, you know, people were fretting that crypto was going into a bull market. I'm sure people are a bit more excited about their prospects today. We go down, you got the stable coin USDC. We don't talk about that. Cardano's on a little rebound as well. ADA, Solana is looking like it's trying to make some noise. Apparently Solana is still in beta phase. I wasn't aware of that. People have been kind of hard on Solana based on some technical issues on the platform or whatever, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? They're still in the beta, so I'm not going to judge them too hard as yet. Let them build their network out and see how it goes, because there was a lot of hype around Solana just, you know, a month and a half ago or something like that. And of course we're looking at XRP, who has been holding steady pretty much sideways, just like Hex at number 9. XRP is at 61 cents right now. It's been sideways for a few weeks, which is, you know, better than a rapid decline from its, you know, all-time high of last year anyway, which is like $1 and some change. And here we are at Hex, sitting at 18 cents. Hex has been sideways for, you know, about a week or so now. It's dropped from like 24, 25 cents. There have seemed to been a wall at 25 cents every time Hex hit that 25-cent mark. It got pushed back down, so we'll see what happens, but it's holding strong. It's not going anywhere, that I can tell you. It's only going to go up. You know, we might see a little bit of action, plus or minus fractions of a percent, whatever, but as we get closer to the launch of the new blockchain, Postchain, everything that comes along with that, biggest airdrop in history. Any of you who are holding a ERC20 private wallet, self-custody wallet, all of your ERC20 coins will be duplicated, and you will have free copies on Postchain at launch. Boom! Free money, bitches. Deal with it. Yeah, so that's your top 10. Terra Luna, rounding out the top 10. I really, really like Terra Luna a lot. This is one of the projects that I was looking at from day one, you know. But fortunately, I found Hex and, you know, all is well. But I really like this project. I like the stable coin. It seems to be private. There's no admin keys. And it's really efficient. You can work your way around it pretty easily. So I think Terra Luna, possibly Solana as well, and AVAX will be three networks to watch out for, along with Post Chain, of course, and 2K Double Deuce. Yep. Alright, so what else am I gonna show you? Okay, alright, let me just pop over here. Um, this is coinranking.com, and I like to play around on this site because it just has different categories for your different type of coins. You know what I'm saying? So you've got new coins, NFT, DeFi, privacy coins, stable coins, staking coins, meme coins, DAO tokens, exchange tokens, and DEX tokens. So if you're looking for a specific type of coin, you don't have to go through like every single coin, one, two, three, four, five, whatever. You can just go to your different category. But for this particular exercise, I want to take you to the DeFi list. And as you can see, number one in DeFi, in the whole of DeFi, a project that most DeFi heads have not heard of, is Hex. Yep. Twice the market cap on this particular platform than number two, which would be Terra Luna. All right. So Hex is simple. You buy Hex, you stake it, you make money while you sleep. What else is there to say? That's what you do. That's what it is. Yeah. So I just wanted to, and really Hex has been in like the top two, three, mostly the top one spot over the past year since I've been actually using coin ranking. Hex has been in the top three, mostly the top one in DeFi products. So you've got all these other products like Chainlink and Uniswap and Tron and Phantom and all these other major products that everybody's heard of, but for whatever reason Hex has that number one spot. Yeah. So I just got one more thing as far as like money, crypto, and those type of aspects, and it's again dealing with the number one products, the number one spot. We gonna have that pretty soon. I said it. So this is another Hex expedition. We're about to get into Daytona, motherfuckers. We're about to get into NASCAR on that ass. That's right. Daytona 500 this year. We got JJ Yelly, who's an up-and-coming NASCAR driver. He's going to be driving the race before Daytona and the Daytona 500, and he will be sporting Hex logo, Hex sponsorship. So let's read up on this real quick. During a sales presentation on Twitter Spaces Monday night, JJ Yelly was a guest on behalf of Hex cryptocurrency to talk about its plans to run the Daytona 500 next month with Hex as his primary sponsor. I am ready to get back to the track. This will be great, Yelly said to over 50 visitors listening in on the presentation. A Hex cryptocurrency spokesperson announced on Twitter that it would cost $600,000 for the sponsorship to be on the race car and for Yelly to be the driver. We have $550,000 committed so far, so I think we'll be able to reach the goal and go racing in the biggest race of the year, said the Hex cryptocurrency spokesperson. Then it goes on to say, a friend of mine called me this week and asked if I knew a company that would sponsor a NASCAR team. I told her I didn't know a company, but I knew a community. We have a real opportunity to sponsor a team for the Daytona 500. And that's your boy at Richard Hart, whatever. So this is what I'm saying. This is a Hexican member. This is just like a regular cat. This is not the founder or anything like that. This is a regular Hex member who has done the hard yards and made moves to put this together. And this is what we do in this community. I'm partial because I'm a part of the community, but I've also been a part and aware, or I wouldn't say a part because I pretty much found Hex shortly after I got into crypto. But I did have other cryptos before Hex, and I've seen these communities at that time and even now, and none of them compare to this community. Everything you see with Hex Everything, every promotion, every logo, every hashtag that you see comes from Hexicans. All right? The founder's not spending money on commercials, on billboards all over the world. The founders are not spending money to do a documentary that's going to appear on Netflix, ideally in the very near future. That's the Hexicans. All right? We want something, we put it together, we call out to the people, it gets done. It's that simple. So this could be a big deal, you know, and I'm not even into NASCAR, you know, myself. I'm more of a Formula One type of guy, but yo, I gotta represent the cause, right? Represent the family. So if you don't know now, you know. Everybody, mark it on your calendar because we could win this motherfucker, son. And either way, we winning because that's like all advertisement is good advertisement, yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna be looking out for that, and I'm gonna be cheering JJ Yelly on, and in the Hex.com, whatever type of car he's driving. You know what I'm saying? So hope you guys do the same with that. But we're gonna keep it moving. Like I said, I'm just kind of like in a space. I'm rambling. I'm all over the place. I've been on lockdown. Fuck you, YouTube, for locking a nigga out of my own crib. Actually, it's not my crib because I don't own YouTube. That's why we're moving the operation. You know what I'm saying? It's in the works. Don't worry. Cause you can't shut down the truth, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can try. You can try to censor this, but you can't. I'm an immutable, bitch. Beyond blockchain, motherfucker. That's what it is. So, you are in tune with Black Dot Chronicles. I am your host, the Mighty Son Cypher, and we just strolling through it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting back into the grind. I've been on the sideline, nigga, been on lock. 1.5 meals a day. But, you know, I got my weight back up. I'm eating right again. Everything is lovely. So we're just gonna stroll through a few scenarios, couple things that I've been you know, randomly into. So I'm just giving you random thoughts right now. So here you have a very interesting piece entitled Remembering When Mary Was Black. Yeah. Remembering When Mary Was Black. Go on and marinate on that for a minute. Now, I'm sure a lot of motherfuckers are like, what do you mean? Remembering when Mary was black? Yeah, yo. Turns out, for those of you who didn't know, who don't know the true story, the real story, our story, meaning all of us, not the fascists. The true story is this, at least how Mary and the baby has been, baby Jesus that is, has been depicted for ages up into like 150, 200 years ago. Mary and the baby Jesus are black. And what's very interesting, why this intrigues me, because, you know, I know this, I've known this, you know, but why this intrigues me personally is because all of these places that we consider to be white now, this is where you find these type of depictions. So we're just not gonna read everything. I just want to go through mostly the pictures and the captions to kind of show you how fucked up the history can be when you've got disagreeable entities controlling all the interfaces of human interaction, right? The gatekeepers, basically. So here we go. All throughout Europe, East, West Europe, you will find depictions in different forms of a black Mary and the little baby Jesus. So it wasn't even a controversial thing. It wasn't like, oh my God, why are you making Santa Claus black or something like that? Everybody knew. I mean, it was a common thing. Everybody knew Jesus was black and his mother was black. You know. So it says, why are the majority of the virgins that are revered and celebrated pilgrimage black? Why are the majority of virgins that are revered in the celebrated pilgrimages black? So this is kind of like the premise of this research. So it says at Boulogne-sur-Mer, France, the sailors carry a black virgin in procession. At Clermont and Auvon, French, the black virgin is revered. Also at Estendal, Switzerland, near Zurich, to which thousands of pilgrims, Swiss Bavarians, Alsatians, go to pay her homage. The famous Virgin of Orapa in Piedmont, Italy is still Nagas, as well as the not less legendary one of the Montserrat in Catalonia, Spain, which receives 60,000 visitors a year. I have been able to trace the history of this one to the year 718 AD, and it was always black. It is highly interesting to know, therefore, if the mother of Christ was not a Negro woman, how it happens that she is black in France, Switzerland, Italy, and Spain. How indeed. That is the question, right? So how is Mary black all over fucking Europe? As you will see, going back to actually BC, like 1 BC, 2 BC and shit like that. They're finding these paintings and depictions and murals all over everywhere, East and Western Europe, from Russia, you know what I'm saying, to Spain. And you're seeing these type depictions with all the regalia and royalty that it deserves, right? So this is a Spanish painting of our Virgin and Child of Guadalupe, 1745. Yep. We can keep going. Another depiction. This is Our Lady of Meymac, France, 12th century, Black Virgin statue in wood, Notre Dame de Meymac, in France, right? So they're saying, basing their research on a collection of nearly 100 such icons from various parts of the world, Moss and Caponati believe that Black Madonna images could be categorized into the following 3 groups. Madonna with black or brown skin, pigmentation, or physiognomy similar to that of an indigenous populations. Icons that were turned black by environmental factors like the accumulation of smoke from the use of votive candles or deterioration of lead-based pigments. A residual category with no ready explanation. So this is, how they try to kind of, PC it out and stuff like that. These particular individuals that were responsible for looking at these 100 icons. They're like, okay, well, we'll tell you the obvious, but we'll tell you what, basically the nomenclature around these paintings and sculptures everywhere, where they're trying to say, candles and, time and all this stuff is the reason why these images all over Europe ended up black. Right? So I'll just read this highlighted part. It says, history shows that in the days of antiquity, the color black was symbolic of fertility, likened to the rich black soil of rivers, valleys such as the Egyptian Nile. And the ancient Egyptians often used the color black to symbolize both death and the underworld. Conversely, the Egyptians also used the color black to represent fertility and resurrection. So they're trying to say maybe it's a symbolic thing, whatever. Okay, let's read this part here. After the death of Egypt's 18th dynasty queen, Amos Nefertiti, the beloved monarch was deified as the patron goddess of thieves. What's more, in tomb murals, the queen was commonly painted with black skin, akin to the Egyptian god Osiris, the husband of Isis, and the king of the afterlife, whose name translates literally to the black one. So, again, who's surprised that Egyptians are black? You know what I'm saying? But it's so interesting to this history, or their story, that clearly is coming to an end, as far as like the whitewashing of our story, meaning the entire story of the planet. Okay, all this shit is clear. All you got to do, if you ever traveled anywhere in Europe, anywhere, it's very clear to you that there's something that happened over the past 200 years that's changed the entire trajectory of the entire planet, as far as the true history that has been documented and hidden all over places like the Louvre and all of these museums that are supposed to be renowned for all of their greatness, which has stolen from all of these indigenous nations and hidden very important, significant aspects of our history and significant aspects of our future as well. Okay, so this is my take on all of this. I am concerned, because I'm concerned about truth, and I'm concerned about my history as well. Coming from America, someone who don't have what can you say, like family trees and all of that shit readily available to me. This stuff really matters. So I'm saying to you, we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to know and understand why all over history, from whatever point you want to take, this shit has been whitewashed, and for what reasons. We need to know that, right? So this is a picture of Saint Bernard, who was actually a cool cat. He was the one basically documenting these things back in the day and telling it how it was and like it is. Mary was black, Jesus was black, and in fact the three wise men was black also. But again, this is not like something that's like a surprise or mystery to anybody who does any research in any relevant part of history and shit. All you gotta do is go look back a little bit, turn one or two pages, and you're gonna see black everywhere. Black, I'm saying black meaning indigenous, and all the colors of blackness, kind of like how you see in this painting, right? So this is Madonna and Child and the Prophet Isaiah, 2nd, 3rd century, catacombs in Priscilla, Rome, Italy. All right. So it wasn't like it was just in one place in some church, and like the smoke from the candles turned this motherfucker black. This is all over. Okay, these are in catacombs, in caves and shit. You got motherfuckers painting this. The Virgin Mary. Alright. This one's actually pretty cool. I wish I had this one. The Annunciation, 2nd, 3rd century, catacomb Priscilla, Rome, Italy. Right, the same thing. And it says in the Annunciation fresco, as with numerous black Madonna icons from the Gothic period, the Virgin is enthroned. She is garbed in tunic and pallium. Before her stands and wingless Archangel Gabriel, robed in a similar fashion. His arms is raised authoritatively, and the scene appears to depict Gabriel's appearance to Mary as described in the Gospel, where the Lord's herald proclaims, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you shall call him Jesus." Now again, we know that this all comes from Hebrew, and we know in Hebrew there is no fucking J's. Okay? I'm not really going to get into that right now, but I'm just telling you, just showing you pieces of the cover up. There's no J's in Hebrew, so who is Jesus? Alright. So what we have here, another adoration, which means a wall painting of the Magi, 2nd, 3rd century, catacomb Priscilla. You know what I'm saying? So you see these three wise men going to bring their gifts to the Virgin and Child. And one more here. Again, this is from Czech Republic. Our Lady of Loretta type Black Madonna from Wroclaw, Breslau, Silesia, Poland, Czech Republic, and Germany. Right? So you got Eastern Europe, you got Western Europe, North, South, everywhere in Europe you find this depiction here of your Black Madonna and child, virgin baby. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought that was interesting that someone, and again, there's a lot of book, if you're into this, if you're into anthropology, archaeology, there are a lot of books that have been written about the true history of Europe and the blackness behind that, you know. So there you go, a little historical mind walk for everybody who's into that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm just all over the place because I haven't been on. I've been in jail. YouTube had a nigga on lock. So I'm back. You know what I'm saying? I'm back. Now, this next place we're going to go may be uncomfortable for some, but we're gonna go there anyway, because you know, sometimes truth is uncomfortable. Now, this is an issue that, you know, I guess is close to me because I have a daughter and she is an athlete and her number one sport is swimming. But you know, even before I was even thinking about a kid or, you know, any type of family life, you know, when I first started to see this type of scenario coming forward, you know, I thought that was an issue. Now, before I even go into this, you know what I'm saying, and all my, you know, PC warriors and all this shit like that, let me just give my perspective and my position. You know what I'm saying? First of all, anybody can do what they want to do within the framework of, you know, relative law, and more specifically and most importantly, natural law. You know, you can do what you want to do, but the only difference is natural law requires that we do what we need to do, what we were put here to do, right? What we were put here to be. But you don't have to follow that directive. You know, we are free thinkers. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of being a sentient being, and I guess the curse as well. That we can think and be and do whoever we want, however we want, but there are consequences to thinking, being, and doing whoever and however, if what you're thinking, being, and doing falls outside the framework of universal law of the natural order. So this is where I am with this particular topic. I don't give a really shit what nobody got to say. I'm happy to talk to anybody, but when you begin to force aspects of life that are not in unison with the natural progression, when you begin to legislate shit like that, it becomes a problem. So right here, this article talks about this transgender swimmer Leah Thomas sparks outrage by shattering women's world records. So you have this dude, you know what I'm saying, who transitioned like a year, like 2019. He was, this dude that you're looking at right now was competing in the pool as a man in 2019. 2022 right now. So, you know, I'll just read like a short part of this and then we'll discuss a bit more. So it says Leah Thomas, a 22-year-old transgender swimmer at the University of Pennsylvania, has been shattering women's records at the school. Before her transition, she competed for 3 years at Penn as a as a man named Will Thomas. Okay? So the first 3 years that the motherfucker was in college, he competed as a man. All of a sudden, last year eligibility, he turns transgender, gets back in the pool, and then it says at a meeting including Princeton and Cornell on November 20th, Thomas had a 1:43.47 time in the 200-meter freestyle and a 4:35.06 in the 500-meter freestyle. These times were records for Penn and would have placed Thomas second and third respectively in the NCAA Women's Championship according to website Outkick. It is unknown when Thomas transitioned from male to female, but the swimmer competed as a man as recently as November 2019. NCAA rules mandate at least 1 year of testosterone suppression treatment to be eligible to compete as a woman. Okay? So I'm not going to even get into the rest of this as far as reading whatever it says. But I just want to expand on what I opened up with as far as saying the natural order is what's really important here. As I said, I'm not trying to get into this discussion of like, if this shit is, right or wrong and who can do. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not trying to stop nobody from being or expressing themselves however they want to. But again, you cannot undo nature. I don't give a fuck what you do to yourself. I don't give a fuck what you cut off, what you add, what chemical you're taking to make you whatever way and shit. If you were born biologically with one anatomy, there's nothing that's ever going to change that. So you have this man competing in the pool with girls who still have the same bone density, who still have the same strength, who still has the same DNA as a man. You cannot change DNA. I don't care what you do. You cannot change someone's DNA, at least not naturally, I would say. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go in there and, go under a knife or some shit like that and come out as a complete woman, or a woman going to go under a knife or take some chemicals and come out as a man. It's never going to work that way. So what we're seeing, and this is not the first instance I've seen of this, two transgender track guys, same thing. They're blowing away girls who are been girls all their life. You know what I'm saying? If anything, if y'all want to do that, just go have your own competitions. Go compete against each other. Transgenders versus transgender. To me, that's fair. Because it's basically you're still competing against your same selves and shit. So, at some point we gotta put our foot down and really point to the laws of nature. And the laws of nature state that only way that life is created or generated or duplicated is through the union of the masculine and feminine principle, the male and female principle, the balance, the yin yang. We've all heard it, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I think is so interesting as well, and this is getting to a bit of psychology. If you look at the yin yang symbol, right, you got a circle, a sphere, and you got majority white on one side, and you have majority black on the one side. But then on the side that's majority black, you have a little tiny sphere of white. And on the side that's majority white, you have a little tiny sphere of black. Now, what does that mean? For me, I'm interpreting that as every man has a feminine nature already embedded in their fucking DNA. It's already there. Every woman has a masculine nature already embedded in her DNA, is already there. Okay? So naturally, every man has a feminine counterpart, and every woman has a masculine counterpart that is a part of us already. So all of this external shit that you're doing, trying to change things on the surface, when you can never change the soul, you can never change the spirit of a formula that's been created by the womb. Right? So I'm saying to you, it's not right for this dude to be out there swimming with girls who've worked their entire life for this. And he's breaking all of these records by like 10, 20 fucking seconds. It's ridiculous. That doesn't happen. Swimming is about seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, my daughter has been swimming since she was 4 years old. All right? I know how long it takes just to shave off 2 seconds off your time when you get to a certain point. Especially for women. Because their bodies change and stuff like that. And, you know, it's a completely different ball game. This motherfucker never went through puberty as a woman. That alone should disqualify any of this shit. And vice versa as well. So, you know, again, I'm not going to dwell on this shit for too long because we got other shit to get into. But my point is, yo, we got to cut this shit out. Y'all motherfuckers do what you want to do. It's all good. I got no, you know, do whatever you want to do. As long as you ain't hurting nobody, as long as you ain't breaking no fucking laws of the land, and as long as what you're doing is not infringing on these universal principles, right? Like the laws of nature. Okay, when you're trying to codify these rules that go against the laws of nature, that's when this shit becomes a problem. So, University of Pennsylvania is talking about suing the NCAA if they don't let this dude swim in the pool with girls. This is what this reality is coming to. It's bizarro world. It's craziness. It's the opposite of truth. It's the opposite of every and anything that we have known to be real about this life. Now we're being told differently, and we've been shunned if we speak differently upon it. You are in tune with Black Dot Chronicles. I am your host, the Mighty Sun Cypher, and we are, as always, ground zero of the kangaroo apocalypse. The fascism never ends. Ride out on that for a minute. Yeah. Now, as we walk further along this demented, torturous road of fascism, elitism, and total control of the five senses, it gets even creepier. Now, this part is kind of interesting for me because this is technology that I am fully engulfed in with regards to blockchain. But if you've seen any of my work on cryptocurrency, my bad, had a little mic issue for a second. If you've seen any of my work that I've done on cryptocurrency, the crypto cult, dark side of the moon, digital asset Trojan horse, this is exactly what I was talking about when I started doing that series that I'm not even finished with yet. I just don't think I'm gonna finish it on YouTube because fuck you, YouTube. But this lady here is about to talk about this one aspect that everybody's going crazy about, this metaverse, right? Everybody's metaverse. And even I see some things that really interest me with regards to this metaverse, but I know the deal. I know this is like always what they do. They always reel you in with the novel shit, right? The shit that don't really matter, the mundane shit. Oh, look at this. We can all have these caricatures on the in the metaverse. Blah blah blah. Yeah, look at me or whatever the fuck. Next thing you know, this is all tied to government policy to control you, to track and trace your every move, to force shit into your body because they say that they can. This is where all this is going. So I am going to play this little clip. It's about 5 minutes, so bear with me, but it's going to be very much worth your while if you listen to this lady. This lady's name is Allison McDowell. I will be talking to her sometime in the future, hopefully. She is knowledgeable about a lot of shit, but this particular aspect of blockchain cryptocurrency and how I'm calling it a Trojan horse, well, she actually has the receipts way more than I have for this Trojan horse. Here we go.
It's important to know that Microsoft owns Minecraft and they also own LinkedIn. And so this idea that they're learning behaviors, learning skills in the future, all of those are going to be badges and micro-credentials like on your blockchain dashboard, so that when you're a digital worker, the AI knows how to sort you based on your behavior tracking in game. And as I said before, it's also signals intelligence. That's a huge part of it. So the slide that we have up now is called, it's 3 books that I've read that I recommend to people. The first one is called For the Win by Cory Doctorow. And Cory Doctorow has ties, I think, to Institute for the Future. So I wouldn't say he's totally outside the system, but he has a very compelling storyline of this book. And I keep saying, if people who are very intent on promoting the play to earn gaming model read the book, I think they might have a different view of it, because essentially what is happening in that story is that there are, multinational teams of young people who are playing quests in these games, but a lot of that is linked to abusive behaviors with children in China and in South Asia who are stuck in dingy internet cafes, spending hours of their day playing games to earn digital items that are then sold to wealthy people like in Silicon Valley. And it's very abusive. And so in that game, the real world and the digital world sort of collide, and it's about sort of organizing against multinational global capital, both inside the game and outside the game. And so the idea of global crypto economics, it was really, really very helpful to read that book. It's a young adult book. It's aimed for like high school age kids, but I think it will give people, it will open their eyes to the harms that are baked into this economic system and the idea of forcing people to live in the metaverse. In that gamification, you see how young those children are, right? I think it's crazy to imagine that people, like, do we really want to teach children to only be able to interact with other children in a gaming environment? Because right now there's a lot of, children are getting socially crippled. Some of that is due to sort of the overreactions around people's, body and physical contact and like being friends and like slapping each other on the back and giving each other hugs and all of that stuff that has been stripped away over the past 18 months. And we have to understand that this is a global economic shift. It's an economic shift that's underway. It's not a public health event. It is an economic event. And it's not just about central bank digital currency. It's about the tokenization of everything in this digital world. And these young children are being pushed into that world. And it's up to adults, the adults in the room, to say, these children do not have informed consent about what that actually is. And it's very clear to me, the middle image there is Ready Player One. And, when we met up in Austin to do our field work there, Ernest Cline, who is the author of that book, and I would recommend the book over the movie, he's from Austin. He's writing that about Austin, this idea that we've killed the real world and that we've created these stacks of really depressing housing situations that no one can get out of, so they need to live in virtual reality and protect that virtual reality. I think in this case, it's supposed to be Cleveland, maybe Ohio, but it might as well be the favelas of Rio. That's the aesthetic that is being evoked there. So this is all unfolding in real time. And then I have Rainbow's End, which is what I talked about with the augmented reality world, where the real world falls apart in favor of the fake world. And so within that space, that whole pitch of the World Economic Forum was to sell your soul into the video game, which makes sense because it's the guy who sells video games. Like, of course he's going to want to sell you your soul into the video game. He doesn't want you to know how to interact with people offline, because really the US military, the global, pulse network, the social physics, it doesn't count if it's not recorded as some data point. They can't capture it for their impact markets if it doesn't happen in a screen. They can't capture real behavior that is happening outside the reach of a camera. And so that's what we're dealing with right now, is deciding, again, the adults in the room, are you going to really throw these children into a world where you had the benefit of the real world, right? You had the benefit of going outside and playing in a creek and doing a pickup game of baseball or kickball or these things that were real. You didn't have to sit in a dark bedroom with a grilled cheese sandwich. I mean, that's every single bad thing of behavior that you're supposed to sit down if you can and have a family dinner together and talk about your day. No, you don't sit with the grilled cheese sandwich. No, you don't have 3 children with their backs to each other all on different devices. They want to normalize that, and it's not normal. It's not. And I mean, maybe there's already the world, like I think many of us realize there's been a split in the realities of around this global health thing, right? And maybe that's a split, but maybe this is another split. And maybe there are people who are fully willing to give up the real and just protect the oasis in the VR headset. And then if so, this presentation isn't for you because you've already made your choice. What I'm here for today is the people who don't understand the bigger picture, and there's still a chance to turn it back.
So there you have it. And I'm saying, if that's not the most crazy shit you ever heard, I'm about to read you something and show you some shit that's gonna be even crazier. But this is happening, right? Like, this is not some, fairy tale, science fiction, conspiracy theory shit like that. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that actually spend a lot of time reading these white papers and these patents for all of this dystopian crazy shit, yo. And what it really boils down to, there is a faction on this planet that they hate the idea of having a soul and having a conscious that's connected to infinity. They hate that idea. So what's happening, as Alison McDowell so eloquently outlined, is that there's a transfer of wealth going on unlike anything this planet has ever seen. Like, the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the planet is happening right now, and it's all going up, not down to the middle lower class, up to the so-called elite, the deplorable class. So at the same time, they have created a brand new paradigm with this track and trace system that they developed from the 90s moving forward, where it's not going to be optional that these kids coming up are going to be playing these video games. They're going to be playing them in order to live. They're forcing kids in China right now that are in this metaverse playing these games to make money just to fucking live. Alright? Now, coming up 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, by 2030, according to their plan, Agenda 2030, go read the white paper, the World Economic Forum, with your boy Klaus Schwab, and that whole host of fucking deplorable idiots, right? They're basically telling you by the year 2030 you will own nothing and you will love it. They want to pack everybody in these sardine type buildings, high-rise motherfucking building units, like fucking an ant farm. And they're gonna track everything you do, how much you eat, how many calories you intake. Alright? If you jaywalk, all of this shit, social scoring, all of this shit is not coming. It is here right now. All that you've been seeing in Australia, where I am right now, all of this fascist shit, Only thing they did was show the rest of the fascist world what's coming. They just used Australia as a test pilot for the rest of the fucking world. That's all they did. Because unlike somewhere like America and to degrees France, Australians don't have any rights under their constitution. There is no freedom of speech under the Australian constitution. And the parliament is a fucking scam. The prime minister has no fucking power. The prime minister is not even the most powerful politician in Australia. You know who that is? And every Commonwealth nation, and yes, there are still a few left out there, including Canada. In every Commonwealth nation, the most powerful politician in the government is a politician that you never hear from. They're called the Governor General. Now, who's the Governor General? The Governor General is essentially an emissary of the Queen, of the Crown. They represent the interest of England. Okay? And every Commonwealth government around the world, the most powerful politician that you will never hear from unless they're firing a prime minister or making a ruling on some shit, is the Governor General. Okay? No fucking shit. So they go through this whole, since I've been over here, yo, they've had like, I don't even know how many prime ministers. Like, it was this one period, like every 9 months a new prime minister was being rolled out and shit, yo. Like, it's crazy. So my point is, everything that's going over now, this is way beyond like government control. This is like a global fucking move in order to force everyone with a chip one way or the other in your brain or in your bloodstream through these motherfucking jabs, whatever it is. They want to chip everybody up, and they want to be able to track and trace you everywhere and control every single aspect of your life, starting with the babies. Everybody will live in the metaverse. You're not going to be able to go outside your crib. Your entire interaction will involve rolling around in some fake simulated world online that everything happens in real time. This is their vision. And just to solidify that, and this will be the last topic that I'm gonna hit for today, my illustrious return to the mic on my own platform. Anyway, speaking of which, shout out to my boys in them, Asher L, NFT Jams, Crypto and Down. Definitely go check them out over on their channel and all their social media. Shout out to my man's Nate J 101 at Nate J 101 on Twitter. Go check him out. That's the Minister of Information. Always bringing you with the hard facts, plenty of receipts. And shout out to the kid, Cosmic, young boy. Finna be a millionaire by the time he turned 23, fucking around with this crypto, this DeFi. Get at him at Cosmic Kid. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be moving along in this 2022, unifying. We got a platform that we're gonna be building on that's decentralized, sucker-free platform. So we're gonna move all our talent over there and say fuck you to YouTube and just pimp them out like we should have been doing this whole time. So just to kind of validate some of the stuff that Alison McDowell, and if you don't know about Alison McDowell, please go check her out. She's like Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like Tupac go in the lab, you know, he come out with a joint album in one day. This is Alison McDowell, how prolific she is with this information. She knows a lot about a lot, but she seems to be mostly interested in what's going on with this blockchain right now, because just like how from the time that I first purchased my first crypto, and 3 days later I realized what this game was really about, and I understood that this shit was a Trojan horse. We can all be free using the blockchain, but also we can be subdued. And if they subdue us on this blockchain, then it's over for generations. It's gonna take some matrix level type shit, meaning like blowing up the sun type shit, and I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna take some apocalyptic shit for us to get up from under what's about to impel us. So this is real. This is from 2019. And like I said, I can spend fucking a half a day just showing you white papers and fucking patents and all of this stuff that's already in the pipeline. It's not like this is future shit. This is happening right now. All right. So this is a basically a white paper, like of a patent. It's called the Human Brain Cloud Interface, and you can see some of the luminaries on here. Specifically, this idiot Ray Kurzweil, who's all about like a robot future. You know what I'm saying? He's like the number one cheerleader for transhumanism or whatever, right? So you got all of these universities. You got Kurzweil, you got the UC San Diego Health Science, you got VA San Diego Health Science, Nanobot Medical Animation Studio, Nano Apps Medical, Miami Project to Cure Paralysis, Department of Biomedical Engineering at the University of Miami, Center for Neuroengineering at Duke, Center for Bioelectric Interfaces of the Institute of Cognitive Neurosciences, National Research University. You get the fucking idea. You know what I'm saying? This is some heavy hitters. These are no scrubs. Even over here in Australia, looks like you have a couple of Monash Institute of Medical Engineering, Department of Neurosurgery, and also Department of Surgery at Monash as well. So this is like an international thing. I'm just gonna read like the first paragraph of what this technology is. And again, they're always going to tell you some altruistic use case, the betterment of humanity or whatever. That's what they tell you on the front end. But if you read their white papers, then you understand what the fuck is really going on. So let's get into this. All right. The internet comprises of decentralized global systems that serves humanity's collective effort to generate, process, and store data, most of which is handled by the rapidly expanding cloud. A stable, secure, real-time system may allow for interfacing the cloud with the human brain. One promising strategy for enabling such a system, denoted here as Human Brain Cloud Interface, or BCI, will be based on technologies referred to here as neural nanorobotics. Future neural nanorobotic technologies are anticipated to facilitate accurate diagnoses and eventual cures for the 400 conditions that affect the human brain. Neural nanorobotics may also enable BCI with controlled connectivity between neural activity and external data storage and processing via the direct monitoring of the brain. Let me read that again. All right. It says neural nanorobots may also enable a BCI with controlled connectivity between the neural activity and external data storage and processing via monitoring the brain's 86 by 10 to the 9th neurons and 2 to the 10 to the 14 synapses. Subsequent navigating the human vasculature. 3 species of neural nanorobots. Okay, so they're talking about, they're even giving you the type of shit they're gonna have floating around in you. All right, you got the endoneurobots, the gliobots, and the synaptobots. Could traverse the blood-brain barrier, or BBB, enter the brain parenchyma, ingress into individual human brain cells, and auto-position themselves at the axon initial segments of neurons, the endoneurobots, within glial cells, the gliobots, and in intimate proximity to synapses, the synaptobots. They would then wirelessly transmit up to 6 by 10 to the 16 bits per second of synaptically processed encoded human brain electrical information via auxiliary nanorobotic fiber optics, 30 centimeters cube. So, okay. 30 centimeters cube is, so 30 centimeters is 300 meters. Cube that is 900 meters. That's 300 millimeter. 30 centimeters is 300 millimeters times 3 is 900 millimeters. So another 100 millimeters, and you got a meter of fucking fiber optic in your fucking body, along with these fucking bots. All right. This is what they're talking about for the betterment of, like, you know, the brain and shit, right? So you got this 30 centimeters cubed of fucking fiber optics with the capacity to handle up to 10 to the 18 bits per second of information transferred to a cloud-based supercomputer for real-time brain state monitoring and data extraction. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Is this really necessary? Right? So they're basically controlling your fucking brain remotely and fucking receiving data in real time at fucking supercomputer goddamn speeds and storing it in some cloud somewhere in some fucking information fucking facility, right? So this shit is next level. Read that last sentence again. They would then wirelessly transmit up to 6 to the 16 bits per second of synaptically processed and encoded human brain electrical information via auxiliary nanorobotic fiber optics with the capacity to handle up to 8 to the 18th bits per second and provide rapid data transfer to a cloud-based supercomputer for real-time brain state monitoring and data extraction. A neural robotically enabled human BCI might serve as a personalized conduit, allowing persons to obtain direct, instantaneous access to virtually any facet of cumulative human knowledge. Right? So now they're trying to fucking, not only do they want to observe, they want to now input information, turning this into walking fucking dictionaries and fucking, you know, Wikipedias and shit. So now we know everything. We're just not human anymore. We don't have souls, bruh. Don't you get it? Other anticipated applications include myriad opportunities to improve education, intelligence, entertainment, traveling, and other interactive experiences. A specialized application might be the capacity to engage in fully immersive experiential sensory experiences, including what is referred to here as transparent shadowing, TS. Through TS, individuals might experience episodic segments of the lives of other willing participants locally or remote to hopefully encourage and inspire improved understanding and tolerance among all members of the human family. Yo, that is fucking crazy. And this is where we are, folks. As they say in the showbiz, this is the reality that is in front of us, that is already making way into our lives every fucking day as we speak. Alright? So they have developed the future technology to all be based around interface with blockchain, which is an immutable ledger, to keep it short. So anything that goes on the blockchain stays on the blockchain, can never be erased, ever. Blockchain does has anonymity, but they're doing everything they can decentralize it and to make sure that people that have a decentralized mentality never ever make it to the blockchain before they can control the gateways like they're doing now through these central banks and these governments making rules and laws against cryptocurrencies, while we see cryptocurrencies, centralized cryptocurrency exchanges like crypto.com, like FTX, FTT.com, where you can go gamble and lose your money, and decentralized exchanges while they get your KYC and AML. They're fucking putting their names on fucking sports arenas for the tune of like $1 billion for the Lakers. Miami has a deal. They probably got another $1 billion that they're spending there, but they're trying to tell you that cryptocurrency is some spook fucking shit, when they're showing you the rollout right in front of your motherfucking face. I'm seeing ads on American television for fucking TurboTax goddamn crypto attorneys. I'm sorry, crypto accountants. But they're telling you crypto is some spook shit to run away from it. So they're telling you one thing while they're building up the system right in front of your face and showing you something else. All right? So my point is that this blockchain shit is real. There is a lot of money to be made, but there's also a lot of slaves to be made on this shit too. So my thing is, if you get into this crypto shit, if you get into this blockchain for the money and or for the technology, just make sure you deal with decentralized elements only as much as possible. This is something that we can control. No government can control a fucking code. Once the code is written and has been deemed to be bug free and that code is launched, it lives in perpetuity, right? Long before or long after all of us will be here and have gone away. Bitcoin will still be here running as a code. Ethereum will still be here running as a code. Hex will be here running as a code and running in that number one spot. Yeah, I said it. So I'm saying we need to colonize this blockchain in a decentralized way and make sure that we have decentralized avenues, on-ramps and off-ramps to be able to maintain our sovereignty and our freedom to move, our freedom to speak, our freedom to communicate through technology, through innovation, all of these things, our freedom to bring and build up communities all over the planet through blockchain technology, through connecting on a ground level, grassroots, on a sea level with the people who need it the most. This is what blockchain can offer, and don't believe the hype when you hear motherfuckers like Charles Hoskinson from ADA, Cardano, or cats like Jeb Makeda from Stellar XLM telling you that they want to bank the unbanked. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to bank the unbanked. They want to motherfucking track and trace the unbanked. That's why Charles and Jeb are all over the motherfucking third world with their technology so they can bank the unbanked, so they can entrap the unbanked, so they can enslave the third world first. They have global ID programs right now that are directly aimed at the third world first, and they're coming for y'all too. That's why every single American as of Jan 1st, 2021 was issued a digital wallet by the Fed. If you have a social security number, you were issued a digital wallet by the Fed that you will be interfacing with, I imagine, over this next year and a half for sure, to pay your bills, to get your welfare, to get whatever money, you know, whatever tax, this, that, or whatever the fuck. It's all going through your digital wallet. That's how they're going to try to trap you in and make you fuck with their central bank digital currencies. But that's a story for another day. Again, shout out to everybody who loves freedom and fight for freedom. Be damned who says that you cannot. Shout out to all the people that educate, that train, that build with the people, for the people, and by the people. It's the people versus the fascists, not the other way around. If you don't know that, then you're in the wrong game, and more than likely you're going to get swallowed by the system sooner than later. Do your own research. Take nobody's word for shit. Alright? Move with your intuition instead of your emotions. Emotions should inspire you to build a framework that is achievable. If you're only dealing with emotions and you just bloviating, more than likely you're not getting a lot of shit done. That's why I fucks with project like Hex and the people in Hex, because they kind of represent a certain mentality. People who can't be rustled in. You can't chain us down. You can't take us off our step. You can't move us from our square. We have souls, we have minds, we have intuition, and we understand The laws of nature trump anything that man could ever manifest. There is nothing beyond the laws of cause and effect. If you think there are, I'm listening. Tell me I'll wait. What man-made law supersedes the law of vibration, the law of rhythm, correspondence, as above, so below? Right? This shit is all mental. Mind over everything. Intuition trumps thought. Intuition trumps thought. So, Richard Hart, he talks a lot about about life extension technology, and he puts his money where his mouth is, to the tune of $27 million that was donated to the SENS Foundation, and they work towards things like that, and that's honorable. Someone like me, I'm more interested in mind ascension technology, because I understand that I'm forever any fucking way. So why do I need to live longer in the state that this reality currently is, and it's only going to get worse? Why do I want to live 150, 200 years to experience this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? If over those 200, if I'm just going to live longer, but I'm still not going to be closer to my salvation, meaning the ascension that we were all put here to attain, one way or the other. So that's what I'm about. Mind ascension. That's the technology that's going to free us from all of this shit. Not life extension. Even though that will be good, that, you know, my mother could have lived longer. My father could have lived longer. My grandmother, my grandfather. I could have lived longer. You know what I'm saying? But I would take the upward climb versus the linear growth and life extension. Because if 100 years from now, if shit is only going to get progressively worse, I don't really need to be around for that. And I guess I can think like, you know, positively, glass half full kind of motherfucker, right? Or glass 3/4 full. And think that, well, if I can live longer, that means that I should be able to do more to change this shit. Okay, that's a formula for that, but, you know, damn. I don't even think that if I was around for another 200 years, you know, what change that will be made any different than the change that I'm making now, because it's not about linear time. It's about your awareness, your consciousness, where you are with your growth, that ascension to that level of mastery, of all knowing. That's what it's really about. Some motherfuckers do it in 50 years. Some motherfuckers do it in 12 years, 13 years, 33 years. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to live longer. I need to ascend my life, not extend it. Because if I ascend my life, then, you know, I'm forever in total consciousness and awareness of myself. I know that fell off into a bit of philosophical shit or whatever, but you know what it is. This is Black Dot Chronicles. This is what we do. It's all about that black dots. It's all about that melanin. So again, I've been long overdue, so I went over on this one a little bit, just freestyling, you know what I'm saying? It's been a long time, but I'm back. You're never gonna keep me down. So once again, you will be hearing from me on a regular as we move to this new platform. Me and the fam, the boys, the brothers, we're about to put it down for the peoples. Giving you something good to inspire you and to make your pockets fat, because we're gonna need that in these times of this great fucking reset, as they call it. So until we meet again, Sun Cypher signing off from ground zero of the Kangaroo Apocalypse. You have been into with Black Dot Chronicles. Peace.